I'd like to have a win of the first year, if possible.
A winning season for a team that had not had one in 14 years. A difficult goal. How would Vince Lombardi do it? It started with Sonny Jurgens reporting in the best condition of his career for Lombardi. It started with Sam Huff coming out of retirement for Lombardi. It started in the fire and haze, sweat and sacrifice of summer, where 40 men learned to be tough mentally and physically, to have a singleness of purpose, a desire for excellence. They were taught the basic approach to football by a different kind of coach. A coach who did not want to make more of his players, but who wanted them to make more of themselves. It wasn't easy, and the results weren't guaranteed. Only the coming season held the answers. And at the end of summer, as the Redskins prepared for their first game in New Orleans, they could be sure of only one thing. There were no quitters left. The nerve center of any team is the quarterback, an on-the-field extension of the coach. In Sonny Jurgensen, Vince Lombardi has what he calls the best quarterback he's ever seen. No one argues. Sonny's style of scrambling defies imitation. But what he does best is throw that seed. Throw that seed well enough to lead the league in passing as the only quarterback to throw for over 3,000 yards. A passer needs good receivers, and Jerry Smith was a touchdown machine. In 3 of the last 4 years, he's been the leading tight end receiver in the NFL. Wide receiver Bob Long could go long, but his real value was in the short zones, where he took the punishment and got the yards. Wide receiver Charlie Taylor, always smiling, because he knows you're not going to get him. He'll get you. Style, frenetic, a cross between pinwheel and whirlwind. Moves uncanny and frustrating to most opponents. But Charlie just keeps smiling and whirling. The only way to beat him is to cheat him. But if you cheat the NFL's second leading pass receiver, then you'll watch him going away. And as he leaves, he'll turn to give you a farewell smile. Throughout the season, Charlie Haraway rammed and churned his way goalward. In addition to his running, he was also the 6th leading pass receiver in the NFL. Larry Brown from Kansas State had some problems in the beginning. But once the first-year man hit his stride, he rushed for 888 yards, the most ever by a Redskin rookie. He pushed Calvin Hill for Rookie of the Year honors and ended up 4th in the league in rushing. After much concern, the fans were happy to find that the Redskins' running game was alive and devastating. So, desire, second effort. Under Lombardi, they mean one thing: singleness of purpose. Get the ball, get the yards, get the victory. The Redskins learned that pain does not count, and they desired for the ball, the yards, the victory. They desired because they believed that no pain is greater than the pain of defeat. Under their new coach, the Redskins had become a team that punished. Throughout the season, they were hitters who displayed one necessary quality: they played with abandon. Dean of the hitters, middle linebacker Sam Huff personified the Lombardi credo. When his wrecking ball style caught up with him, it wasn't for long, because Big Sam came back to play with little hurts. Linebacker Chris Hamburger has a unique style of punishing. In the NFL, he is known respectfully as the hangman. And many opponents came to learn the black and blue ballad of Big Sam and the hangman. When number 86, Marlon McKeever, became a starting linebacker, there was no loss of speed or ferocity. What the hitters didn't get to handle had already been doomed to the front line. The Crushers, Musgrove and Bosch, Carroll, Camera and Hoffman, Crane and Norton. But even this power was sometimes harnessed by frustration. Throughout the season, Pat Fisher and Mike Bass were invaluable, and helping them in the Redskins secondary was number 23, Brig Owens, a ball-seeking anti-touchdown missile in his own right. Number 46, safety Ricky Harris, led the team in interceptions and was the second leading punt returner in the league. In New Orleans, the Saints fans had a message, and the Redskins defense went to work on it. the offense took over, Summers' well-learned lessons took wing. Sonny Jurgensen zeroed in on the all-pro tight end Jerry Smith for one touchdown. Then, teaming with number 42, Charlie Taylor, he floated and bombed the Saints right out of the game. Summers' sacrifices became a receding memory, forgotten in the ecstasy of victory, sweet victory. Nevertheless, the first win was the sweat of summer.
This new, if familiar face was hired by the Washington Redskins to provide leadership. To accomplish this end, Vince Lombardi coaxed linebacker Sam Huff out of retirement to utilize his defensive and leadership qualities. But on opening day in New Orleans, Saints quarterback Bill Kilmer, number 17, was also holding leadership seminars. Early in the first quarter, Kilmer was firing strikes, and his bullets thrust New Orleans into a 10-0 lead despite Washington's stacked defense. The Redskins' offensive machine is oiled by slick Sonny Jurgensen, who seems to already be in midseason form. His pass to Bob Long covered 52 yards. Jurgensen then found Charlie Taylor about 10 feet above the end zone, and the score became 10-7. The Saints fumbled the ensuing kickoff, and Sonny ended the agony of it swiftly with another pass. This one to Jerry Smith, number 87. But the Saints were not out of it. Number 48, Andy Livingston, broke the Saints' rushing record with 142 yards. Unfortunately, most of it was between the 20-yard line, as the Redskin defense was able to come up with the big play when necessary, a trait heretofore lacking in recent Redskin teams. With shoddy pass protection, Jurgensen can hurt you. With good protection, he'll kill you every time. This 51-yard play to Charlie Taylor gave the Redskins a 21-13 edge late in the third quarter. But Billy Kilmer doesn't give up easily, and he drove himself harder and harder in order to secure victory. This effort, however valiant, was not enough. The end of the game showed the Redskins on top 26-20, and Lombardi again left the field a winner, the only way he feels comfortable.
Next to Cleveland. Washington led late in the game. But the Browns slipped in under the wire, and the Redskins' record stood at 1-1.
The Cleveland Browns, primed to unleash their awesome ground attack against Washington, were stunned by Redskins rookie Larry Brown's 58-yard dash through an amazed Cleveland defense. A Sonny Jurgensen to Jerry Smith TD gave Washington a 7-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. Cleveland quarterback Bill Nelson ignored his running attack at first and concentrated on exploiting the Redskins' secondary with consecutive passes to Paul Warfield, number 42, and set back Reese Morrison, number 26. Cleveland tied the game at 7 on rookie Ron Johnson's smash between end and tackle. With the score tied at 10 in the third quarter, Nelson set up the Redskins for a draw play with a pass to Warfield. Expecting another pass, Washington was completely fooled by the devious draw, and Ron Johnson waltzed in for his second touchdown. Trailing 20-10 in the last quarter, The Redskins pass master riddled Cleveland with passes to Bob Long, number 80, and Charlie Taylor, number 42, as Washington moved to the Browns' 1-yard line. From the 1, former Brown Charlie Haraway batted over for a score, and Washington only trailed by 4 points, 20-16. The aroused Lombardi men received a game-breaking opportunity when number 73, Frank Bosch, separated Nelson from his senses and the football, and Washington recovered on the Browns' 13. It took Jurgensen only one play to turn his good fortune into points as he speared Bob Long with a bullet, and Washington owned a 23-20 lead. With just over 1 minute to play, Bill Nelson directed the Browns to the Washington 15. From there, Nelson threw to the flag, and Gary Collins beat number 37, Pat Fisher, for the winning TD. Collins' only reception of the day kept the Browns' record unblemished and gave them sole possession of first place in the Central Division.
In San Francisco the following week, everything seemed ragged. Only great recovery efforts kept the Redskins in the game. But the 49ers led late in the last quarter. And a ragged score was better than none as Washington settled for a last-minute tie.
At Kezar Stadium, San Francisco, Coach Vince Lombardi spelled out strategy to Washington quarterback Sonny Jurgensen. The discussion spelled trouble for 49er safety Alvin Randolph. Alvin figured in 2 interference calls that allowed Washington to eventually tie the game. Alvin is the player to whom the ref is pointing. Charlie Haraway scored Washington's first touchdown on this determined run. Randolph almost made amends by recovering the fumble, but Haraway had already scored. But the 49ers were enjoying another good offensive day with John Brody throwing a touchdown pass to Clifton McNeil. The Niners went ahead 17-10 on this fourth quarter sprint by improving Doug Cunningham, number 42. But with 26 seconds left, Jurgensen tied the score with a pass to Jerry Smith. Both teams played well enough to win, but as happens very often in tie games, both came away dissatisfied.
In the fourth week of the season, the Redskins finally came home. Thus far, it had looked like any other of the past 14 years. But filled with hope, the Washington fans came to see if this team, with this coach, was really any better. As far as St. Louis was concerned, the answer was quite plainly yes. First, number 37, Pat Fisher, intercepted to set up a score by Larry Brown. Next, Sam Huff pulled one down. In a sideline conference, coach and quarterback set the play. And Jerry Smith made it look easy. Cards had to throw to catch up. But when they put the ball in the air, the Washington secondary tracked it down. It was Mike Bass on this one, which led to Charlie Taylor's score. Kurt Knight added 4 field goals, and St. Louis was desperate. But Pat Fisher again came up with the ball. And the Cards came up bloody, bowed, and beaten. The second win was for the defensive secondary.
It was only appropriate that on October 12th, the Washington Redskins opened their home season at Robert Kennedy Stadium on what could only be described as an Indian summer day. Redskin fans were today going to witness a struggle against a team that has to date been a difficult one to assess, the St. Louis Cardinals. On offense, the Cards have been led by 2 quarterbacks, Jim Hart and number 12, Charlie Johnson, while their tough defensive unit is captained by perennial All-Pro safety, Larry Wilson. The Cards will be up against the man, Coach Vince Lombardi, trying to bring a winner to Washington for the first time in years. The man and the arm, quarterback Sonny Jurgensen. These two will be the main obstacles in Cardinal coach Charlie Winter's path. I'm Andy Musser, and this is the NFL Game of the Week. Later in the quarter, the Redskins equalized the game. Charlie Haraway, acquired from Cleveland, ran for 3, and Jurgensen connected on his first pass of the game to Bob Long, number 80, that took the ball to the Cardinal 35. But the drive stalled when 2 plays gained only 5 yards, and this third down pass for Charlie Taylor failed. Rookie Kurt Knight was called on from 37 yards out, and he tied the score on the first of his 4 field goals. On the first play after the field goal, Jim Hart suffered his first interception, and the pass was picked off by number 37, Pat Fisher. On an isolated replay of the theft, Jackie Smith seemed to be open on a sideline pattern, but Fisher came out of nowhere to grab the ball. Jerky again probed the defense. First, rookie Larry Brown, number 43, went into the middle for 4. Then Sonny worked a quick out to Bob Long to set up a 3rd and 2. Jerky decided to work on Long's defender again, rookie Roger Worley, and it paid off. Sonny is a master at exploiting weaknesses in a secondary. Then Larry Brown ran a power sweep around right end, 12 yards and a touchdown. Lombardi was determined to bring a running attack to Kennedy Stadium, and so far he had succeeded. On a replay from our end zone camera, watch the blocking Brown got from his pulling lineman as the rookie from Kansas State scampered over for the first touchdown of the game. The quarter ended with Washington on top, 10-3. Sonny started the drive downfield with a completion to number 87, Jerry Smith, who made a great run after the catch, but was considered down after a 16-yard gain. This tripping penalty on number 48, Bob Atkins, gave the Skins another first down. Then Larry Brown ripped off the longest run of the day, a 28-yard sweep around left end to the Cardinal 24. On the replay, we can see that the Redskins' offensive line pulled fast and was out ahead of their ball carrier. This is the key to the successful sweep, and they learned it from the master, Vince Lombardi. Bob Long then made his 4th catch of the half at the 11th. On first down, Jergy went for all the marbles, and Charlie Taylor was there. Touchdown, Redskins, and a 17-3 lead with 4 minutes left. Hart was rattled, and it showed as number 41, Mike Bass, came up with an interception at the Cardinal 32. On the isolated replay, Dave Williams ran his pattern well, but Bass turned at the right moment to give the Redskins another scoring opportunity. Washington today capitalized on both turnovers and good luck. Here, Sonny fumbled right into the hands of Len Hoss, number 56, and a 4-yard gain to boot. But luck ran out on Jergy. On 3rd and 7 from the 13, he was trapped and down by Bob Rowe to set up another field goal by Knight, this one from 28 yards out. Washington now led 20-3. Ball past midfield, Hart made another fatal mistake, and veteran Sam Huff made the Redskins' 3rd interception of the half. Jurgensen had 1 minute to score, and he did. Long got 16 on this reception. Then Sonny just missed a touchdown when Jerry Smith bobbled and dropped his pass in the end zone. On a replay, Smith had to worry not only about catching the ball, but also staying in bounds, and this probably caused his error. Now at the 1 on 3rd down, Jurgensen just overthrew a leaping Charlie Taylor, and Kurt Knight salvaged the drive with a field goal. The half ended with the surprisingly strong Washington Redskins in a commanding 23-3 lead over the erratic St. Louis Cardinals. Trying to get the ball back quickly, Dave Williams bounced the kickoff in hopes of causing a fumble. Number 46, Ricky Harris, almost complied. He didn't get far, but at least Washington had the ball. Sonny Jurgensen immediately stung his opponents with a sideline completion to Walter Flea Roberts for 22 yards. Then on 2 successive plays, the quarterback pounded at the Cardinal line with his newly found running attack. Coach Lombardi's first priority at Washington was to establish a solid ground game. And apparently number 43, rookie Brown, and number 31, veteran Haraway, have given him what he wanted. The reason for the run is to set up the pass. On 1st down, Jergy went for the long ball. His target, veteran Bob Long. His pigeon, rookie safety Terry Brown. A perfect pass, a classic duel for the ball, and a rookie had won over a veteran. Jurgensen then successfully tried 2 identical short passes. The first was to Haraway. And the second was to Bob Long, who was a Lombardi favorite in the Green Bay days. The passes brought the ball deep into St. Louis territory as the 3rd quarter ended. The Washington running attack failed on successive tries and brought about a 3rd down possession play. Jurgensen, with all day to throw, was way off target to Bob Long. On the last play, it can be seen that Jurgensen ignored his favorite target, Charlie Taylor, who was wide open on the play. It wasn't to be the last time, however, for Taylor caught only 1 pass in the second half. Kurt Knight's kick from the 28 gave the Redskins additional breathing room, 26-10. St. Louis had to come back fast, and they obviously would have to do it in the air. Hart hit Jackie Smith over the middle. This was an important play because from here on in, Hart's arm would consistently fail him. The isolated camera shows Smith curled into the crease between the linemen and the linebackers before being met with a solid tackle by Chris Hanberger. Then Hart's string of inefficiency began as the pass intended for Williams was almost intercepted by Pat Fisher, who couldn't quite believe he didn't have the ball. A look at Williams' pass route shows the ball was well overthrown. The receiver didn't have a chance for it. Fisher did. On a third down play, another pass to Williams was almost intercepted, this time by 2 Redskins. The isolated camera reveals Williams himself prevented the steal by reaching behind to bat down the poorly thrown pass. Another St. Louis opportunity was gone. The Cardinals were forced to go to the air once again, and Hart's pass for Williams was picked off by pesky Pat Fisher. Fisher is a cornerback, but he might as well have been playing free safety today. He was all over the field. A repeat of this key play shows Williams ran a long post. Number 41, second-year cornerback Mike Bass stayed right with him, and the omnipresent Fisher came from nowhere to take the ball. He returned it 27 yards. You've forgotten, with all that Redskin running going on, what Christian Adolph Jurgensen does better than anyone in pro football is pass. This one was good to Bob Long for 30 yards. Then Washington's prize rookie, Larry Brown, ripped 8 yards into Cardinal territory. A repeat shows one of the big differences in this club under Coach Lombardi, blocking, as Brown found daylight at the end of a gaping hole in the Cardinal line. The blocking of Jim Snowden, Vince Permuto, Len Hawes, Ray Schonke, and Walt Rock has been a big factor in Washington's fine performance this year. Jurgensen was close to a game-clinching score, and he moved his team beautifully. Then the powerful Haraway, the regular fullback for the Browns last year, followed his escorts to the 11-yard line. The end zone angle shows number 8. All-Pro Larry Wilson seemed to have the play diagnosed, but it meant little in the face of a rampaging line charge and Haraway's second effort. With just 2 minutes left in the game, Jurgensen tried to hit Larry Brown, but he didn't retain possession in the end zone, although he held on despite a crash with concrete. Another angle amply demonstrates the ferocity of Brown's tumble to the turf and the pain. The injury gave Washington a timeout, and the Golden Arm quarterback an opportunity to strategize with the silver-haired legend who has brought a new dimension and motivation to Kennedy Stadium. Jurgensen calmly looked over the defenses, then passed to tight end Jerry Smith to ice the victory in the home opener. Washington had gone 76 yards in 10 plays and had ballooned the score to 33-17. Followed Gilliam's exciting heroics with this pass to nobody in particular. And then came back to somebody fairly specific, Brig Owens. The Washington defense had their 5th interception. A repeat reveals Hart was hurried before unloading. But it is interesting to note that throughout this painful day, Coach Charlie Winter stuck with his quarterback and didn't bring in his opening day starter, Charlie Johnson. How long he'll remain this loyal is open to some doubt, however. A victorious Vince Lombardi had no complaints about his quarterback, his offensive line, or his thieving defense. He saw his team tie the NFL's tightest series. It now stands at 12 wins for both the Cards and the Skins. But more importantly, Washington retains second place in the Capital Division. It's enough to make an old man like Sam Huff feel like a winner again.
When the New York Giants came to town, they found out what made Ricky run. The Giants led for most of the game, but with the score tied in the last quarter, Ricky Harris broke it open. He broke it because in the Lombardi system, every man hustles. On this play, Harris was caught and passed by his blockers. The third win was desire.
When New York met the Redskins in Washington, neither club could make a dent in the other until halfway through the second quarter. Old pro Joe Morrison, number 40, leaked through and got 6 points for the Giants. New York defenders had allowed dangerous Sonny Jurgensen only 3 short pass completions until the great Charlie Taylor broke completely free. Then the incredible happened. Giants 7, Washington nothing at the half. In the third quarter, number 27, Randy Manier, belted his way in from the 2 to cap off a 72-yard New York drive. The Giants were 2 touchdowns up. Washington came right back on the next series, and number 31, Charlie Haraway, threw the same punch for the Redskins. The Washington ground game was rolling. Number 43, rookie Larry Brown, ran for a total of 107 yards, 41 on this trap. Then Charlie Haraway went outside and outran 15 yards worth of tacklers to tie it all up. The difference in the contest came on an 86-yard punt return by number 46, Ricky Harris. Not until the arrival of Coach Vince Lombardi did so many blockers outrun the ball carrier to execute their assignments. With 10 minutes left, the Giants couldn't come back, and the Redskins won their third game by a touchdown.
In Pittsburgh, the Steelers found it hard to stop Sonny Jurgensen, who passed for 1 touchdown and weaved his way to a second. That was all the Redskins needed, because the defense, led by its hitters and crushers, gave up only 7 points. Like hounds after a fox, they ran Steeler quarterback Terry Hanratty into the ground. The fourth win was for the hitters.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are another old team being rebuilt by a new coach, former Baltimore assistant Chuck Noll. But the master rebuilder of them all has to be the Washington Redskins' new coach, who's taken an old and unharmonious defense and tuned it to a pitch few thought possible. Number 5 is the famous cannon-arm quarterback from Notre Dame, Terry Hanratty. Last Sunday, he was given his first professional starting assignment, and Lombardi's Redskins made sure he'll remember it. Hanratty made sure the Redskins will also remember him. The only score of the first half was a Hanratty rollout touchdown to running back Earl Groh, number 38. In the second half, the Redskin offense came to life. Number 43, Kansas State rookie Larry Brown, added to his growing reputation as he executed the new Washington sweep, formerly called the old Green Bay sweep. Sonny Jurgensen executed an old Redskin favorite called Get the Ball to Charlie Taylor and Count the Missed Tackles. From the Steeler 10, Jurgensen set up to throw, but instead found a new route to the end zone. With the score tied, Hanratty set out to untie it, but linebacker Marlon McKeever, number 86, stretched his first play all out of shape. When he could go no further, McKeever flipped back to number 24, safety Bob Wade. And finally, Sonny Jurgensen could throw the 200th touchdown pass of his illustrious career. It floated 17 yards straight into the waiting hands of Charlie Taylor, and suddenly the Redskins were ahead by a touchdown. Terry Hanratty was in the second grade the year Jurgensen threw his first pro touchdown. In the fourth quarter last Sunday, he was almost Jurgensen's equal as he passed the Steelers toward the game-tying touchdown. But with 4 chances to score from the 10-yard line, 4 pass plays failed. And as they had done the previous week, the Redskins again held on to win.
In rainy Baltimore, the Colts rolled over the Redskins with seeming ease. Flag Day. Inspired by Sam Huff's touchdown and Charlie Haraway's score, Washington led Philadelphia late in the last quarter, 28-14. But the Eagles charged back. And with time almost gone, they went to the desperation bomb, which became the most controversial call of the Redskins season. The truly disappointing last-minute tie did not sit well with many people.
When the game had ended, Redskin coach Vince Lombardi had some well-turned phrases concerning some of the events he had seen. He might have been upset at the sight of his quarterback, Sonny Jurgensen, being knocked around by the Eagle pass rush. But he was probably more upset at the sight of an interference penalty when the Eagles faced a 4th down and 25 yards to set up the tying touchdown with but 58 seconds left. Both teams came from behind to tie. Larry Brown evened the score at 7 when he sneaked over from the 1 following his fine inside burst to the goal line. The Redskins took a 14-7 lead when Jurgensen threw to Charlie Haraway. The Eagles came right back on Norm Snead's pass to Ben Hawkins. Eagle fans were lusting for an upset and had some comments about 35-year-old Sam Huff's venerability. Taking note of the sentiment, Huff promptly gave the Redskins a 28-14 fourth quarter lead that seemed enough to win. But 2 Eagle drives, plus the interference call, enabled Norm Snead and the Eagles to sneak up from behind and gain the tie.
Dallas came with Rookie of the Year Calvin Hill, who proved his worth, and the Cowboys went home victorious.
But it was Washington who scored first on a pass from Sonny Jurgensen to tight end Jerry Smith. If there is a way to beat Dallas, it is through the air. Sonny Jurgensen knew this and combined with Charlie Taylor to produce an 88-yard touchdown. The Redskins clawed to within 6 points at 27-21 on Jurgensen's second touchdown to Jerry Smith. In the third quarter, Redskin hopes for victory were ruined by a clipping penalty which denied Ricky Harris' spectacular 83-yard punt return. The Jurgensen to Smith combination struck for their third touchdown, and Washington trailed by 6 again, 34-28. But Dallas' doomsday defense rose up to smother Jurgensen's desperate bid for a victory as they intercepted 3 crucial passes in the fourth quarter to ensure a 41-28 triumph. For Dallas head coach Tom Landry, next week brings the Los Angeles Rams. It will provide a true test of the Cowboys' greatness and a key to their postseason destiny.
When the Falcons visited the Capitol, they brought a potent ground game. However, the real ground power belonged to the Redskins. Number 43, Larry Brown, ran wild behind the blocking of Permuto, Rock, and Hawes, gaining 102 yards and scoring a touchdown. When he found himself in trouble, Jurgensen went to number 31, Charlie Haraway. And behind blocks by Snowden and Schenke, Charlie streaked 64 yards for the winning touchdown. The fifth win was for the blockers and runners.
Another cliffhanger took place in Washington. The Atlanta Falcons jumped to an early lead over Vince Lombardi's Redskins as Randy Johnson pounded the Redskin flank for Atlanta's first score. In the second quarter, Bruce Limmerman replaced Johnson and passed to Cannonball Butler, who ran through the Redskins for a 57-yard gain. Two plays later, Cannonball blasted in for another Falcon score. The Redskins came charging back on the accurate arm of Sonny Jurgensen, who completed 26 of his 32 passes for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trailing by 4 points in the third quarter, Jurgensen passed to Charlie Haraway, who stormed 64 yards to put Washington ahead 24-20. Final score, Washington 27, Atlanta 20.
When the Rams came to town, their defense mauled the Washington attack. In the return match with the Eagles, Sonny was on his game, and revenge was in the air. But so was sleet, and the AstroTurf became the Astro Rink. On the slick surface, Washington's fire sputtered and went out. With the departure of number 9, and with the increasingly bad weather conditions, the Eagle attack struck what should have been the death blow. But the Redskins had learned to fight adversity, to play with small hurts. Sonny returned to the game. The offense crashed for one touchdown. The defense crunched for another. The golden arm fired, and Jerry Smith came up with a miracle. Revenge, sweet revenge. And time ran out on the Eagles' argument. The 6th win was for the passer and his receivers.
This is Philadelphia's Franklin Field on a dark and gloomy December 7th afternoon. Today, over 60,000 fans who braved rain and sleet would witness a game between the National Football League's closest rivals, the hometown Eagles and the neighboring Washington Redskins. There are many bitter rivalries in the NFL, but none closer than this. The series between these two teams is tied at 30 games apiece. Both teams have been completely revamped in the front office and on the field. A magic man named Lombardi now coaches the Skins. He inherited the NFL's finest passer, Sonny Jurgensen. Many wondered how Sonny would react to his new mentor. The answer is there for all to see. Jurgensen, with his new slim shape, is having his finest season. Before the game, Lombardi seemed concerned with the effect the weather would have on the Eagles' new AstroTurf. Later, his interest would seem prophetic. There's a new regime in Philadelphia, too, and they are dedicated to making the Eagles a winner. Leonard Tose is the new owner. He and Coach Jerry Williams have stocked their team with many new faces. Harold Jackson is the most significant one, and George Myra, who was brought in from San Francisco. But the old guard remains the core. 9-year veteran quarterback Norm Snead is still the field general. Tom Woodishick is what being a pro is all about. The fine fullback is at last gaining the reputation he deserves. The defense is led by number 82, defensive end Tim Rosevich. The front four is one of the youngest, and it is the Eagles' pride. Beside Rosevich, there is Mel Tom, Gary Pettigrew, Ernest Callaway, and 11-year man Floyd Peters. The team they face today has, in the tradition of other Redskin teams, a trio of fine receivers. But these Redskins have an extra ingredient, one that has been missing through the years, a running attack. Lombardi's strategy is predicated on strong ground game. He tested 21 backs. The two that survived as regulars, Larry Brown and Charlie Haraway, have been excellent. So today, in this long-time rivalry, the series lead was on the line as the Philadelphia Eagles met the Washington Redskins. I'm Jack Whitaker, and this is the NFL Game of the Week. The Redskins got immediate field position when number 46, Ricky Harris, returned the opening kickoff 54 yards to the Eagle 41. But the Eagles' defense braced. Washington struck right back. Larry Brown, number 43, triggered the drive. He seemed stopped, then broke through for 37 yards. Jerry Smith made a nice grab of a high Jurgensen pass for an 8-yard gain. With it 3rd and 7, Charlie Taylor slanted across the middle and took the ball away from Irv Cross for 12 yards and the touchdown. Another look from the end zone reveals Cross's coverage was perfect. Taylor simply made a great play. Washington had gone 63 yards in 7 plays to tie the score. Washington started the second quarter like it was going places. Jurgensen hit Smith on a sideline pass for 10 yards. Washington got another chance late in the quarter, and a short pass to Taylor got them going. His great moves made the play into a sizable gain. A repeat shows the elements were still at work. Taylor slid, then managed to keep his balance to spin his way free. Then Larry Brown, who ranked 6th in the league in rushing, turned the right corner and streaked 53 yards downfield. The Eagles were reeling. A repeat shows Brown bobbled the ball, shot through a hole, broke a tackle by number 21 Joe Scarpati, another by number 50 Ron Porter, before being run out of bounds by Irv Cross. Jurgensen had his team on the Eagle 5, and he went for the quick score. Charlie Taylor had already caught 5 passes in the half. He didn't hold on to this one. Number 52, middle linebacker Dave Lloyd, an 11-year veteran, diagnosed this pass to the left and slapped it away from Smith to save a certain score. Washington had to settle for 3 points provided by Kurt Knight. The score was now Philadelphia 16, Washington 10. Washington defense forced a punt, and again Jurgensen had another chance to score before the half. He had just 36 seconds to do it. Brown powered up the middle for a dozen. The rookie from Kansas State had 96 yards in the first half alone. Then Jurgie, under pressure, hit Taylor all alone at the sideline. He stepped out to stop the clock. A repeat shows why Taylor was uncontested. It was the slippery surface again. Number 26, Al Nelson, had slipped on the play. But on the next play, the uncertain footing worked in Philly's behalf as Jurgensen slipped while trying to pass. Jurgensen was blitzed by Lloyd on the play and had to be removed from the game. With only 17 seconds remaining in the half, Frank Ryan made his first appearance since joining the Skins from Cleveland at the beginning of the season. He was hit, escaped, scrambled, then shoved a pass to former Browns teammate Haraway. But good pursuit by number 88, Gary Pettigrew, prevented a long gain, and time was called. With 2 seconds on the clock, Kurt Knight's second field goal in 2 minutes brought the Redskins within 3 points of the Eagles. Washington had been thwarted from scoring 6 again, but the momentum seemed to be with them as the half ended. Though outplayed, Washington was only down 3, and through most of the third quarter, they held Philadelphia in check. Norm Snead's passes were tough to hold in the sleet, and he managed only one rush was led by number 85, John Hoffman, a 6'7", 260-pound rookie from Hawaii, who was all over the field and helped stop the Eagles' other setback, Leroy Keys. Snead, too, was feeling the pressure of the revamped Redskin defense, and even when he unloaded on time, paid for it. To Bill Bradley. Bradley made an error in judgment. He chose to run back the punt from his own 5 rather than let it bounce in the end zone. The Eagles had to start from their own 13. Snead was caught by a hard-charging Jim Norton, number 83, on second down for an 8-yard loss. So he went back to pass again, and Carl Kammerer knocked the ball loose. John Hoffman recovered in the end zone for a touchdown, and Washington had the biggest break of the game and took their first lead, 20-16. In a time-consuming drive that took the rest of the quarter, Jurgensen, Larry Brown, and Jerry Smith led the Skins to another score. On the last play, watch the offensive line push out and open a huge hole in the Eagles line as Brown darted across midfield. Tim Rosovich's hands and Jerry Smith's hands foiled Jurgensen's next attempt. But as if Lombardi was in the huddle saying, "Do it again until you get it right," Jurgie came right back with the exact same call, and it worked. Then from the 25, Sonny dropped back under good protection and fired for Smith again. And number 87 made a great catch near the flag for a touchdown. Despite some vociferous counsel for the defense, a repeat will show that Smith did hold the ball long enough to have possession. A judgment decision by the official. The quarter ended with the Redskins now ahead, 27-19. Again, Jurgensen needed a score for insurance. And inspired by the man who seems to inspire everyone beyond their own ability, Sonny ate up 6 minutes on his way to a touchdown. This drive contained mainly passes to Jerry Smith and Charlie Taylor, whose 10 catches for the game put him second in the league in receiving. Smith was covered by strong safety Nate Ramsey, number 24, and a perfect spiral found Smith on the 6-yard line. On the play, watch the blocking on number 88, Gary Pettigrew, as Smith beat Ramsey to the ball. Larry Brown is making a strong bid for Rookie of the Year, and he rammed for his 137th yard of the game down to the 4. Then from the 1, Brown behind perfect sweep blocking, went inside left tackle for the score. On a replay, we can see the Lombardi's credo is perfectly executed as Larry Brown runs to daylight. The score was now 34-22, and time was running out on the underdog Eagles. Philadelphia was fired up now, and everyone in the stadium knew what had to happen next. Could the Eagles pull off an onside kick and get one final shot at winning? The answer, as we shall see, was a resounding no, as the clock ran out on the Philadelphia Eagles. Moral of the story is that although Vince Lombardi may not be able to part the Red Sea, today he was able to walk across a soggy carpet and defeat a team that beat his former Packer team in 1960 for the NFL championship. But time marches on, and so do the Redskins, who under Coach Lombardi have found a new spirit that may once again bring the man in the nation's capital a winner.
Washington's last home game of the year was against the Saints. If they could win this one, they could show their fans a winner for the first time in 14 years. In the first half, the secondary smothered the Saints' air attack. Kurt Knight kicked, and the Redskins were ahead. 2 scores by Charlie Haraway made it 17-0 at the half. And the fans sensed a new day dawning in Washington. But in the second half, the Saints changed their plan of attack. They went to the ground, and they went to the end zone. The game was slipping away, and with it the Redskins' hopes for a winning season. But as their coaches said, if a man is running down the street with everything you own, you better stop him. And the Redskins' defense did just that. They made their own break. And after 14 lean years, they came up a winner. The 7th win was for a man and a team.
Against New Orleans, the Washington Redskins ensured their first winning season in 13 years. The Redskins shut out the Saints in the first half and twice intercepted Billy Kilmer within sight of a score. Number 41, Mike Bass, picked off one, and number 46, Ricky Harris, almost turned the other into a Washington touchdown. Even the powerful Saint ground game fell victim to the hard-hitting and alert Redskin defense. Washington's first score came on a 10-yard rump by setback Charlie Haraway. The biggest play of the first half came when Bo Burris dropped a sure interception. On the very next play, Sonny Jurgensen converted his good fortune into a touchdown with a swing pass to Haraway. At halftime, the Redskins built up a comfortable 17-0 pad. The Saints replaced Kilmer at quarterback with rookie Ed Hargett of Texas A&M. Hargett responded with a careful passing game that showcased the battering style of setback Tony Baker, who carried awestruck safety Ricky Harris with him 11 yards on one reception. The Saints gouged out 2 touchdowns in the second half. One was by Don Shy, the other by Ernie Wheelwright. But it was too late to overcome the Redskins, who won 17-14 for their 7th victory of the season.
When the two teams met in Dallas, the contest was closer, but the result was the same: frustration and defeat. For the Redskins, the season's peak of frustration came at home.
Washington came to Dallas primed for an upset and found only oblivion. Quarterback Sonny Jurgensen was able to produce some short gains, but was unable to muster a touchdown. The only point scored by the Redskin offense was a field goal by Kurt Knight. Their only other score came when linebacker Chris Hanberger converted Calvin Hill's fumble into a Washington touchdown.
As Vince Lombardi left the field, the season must have echoed in his mind.
I'd like to have a win of the first year, if possible.
A winner the first year, if possible. They had won. They had won, and in every way possible. They had won with guts and sincerity. They had won with grace and style. They had won with courage and singleness of purpose. In the end, Vince Lombardi did not make more of these men, but he did make them make more of themselves. Next year, there'll be more victories and perhaps a title, because for this man and for this team, all things are possible.